Hello everyone, my name's Aloubell, and welcome to part 23 of Miraculous Bonds Beyond Fate, my Miraculous Ladybug AU with a different origin story and different other things too. If this video is your first exposure to Bonds Beyond Fate, then please check out the story from the beginning. Return for part 23 when you are ready. For everyone else, sit back, relax, hit that like button for the algorithm, subscribe for more reviews, rants, and rewrites, and special thanks to Ladybug Gamer, FV, and my other channel members for supporting this channel as well as this story. If you want to support me as well, you can become a channel member by clicking the join button, commission me on artistry, or donate over on Ko-fi. Regardless of what you do, I just appreciate you being here. Anyway, put the wave emoji in the comments and enjoy Miraculous Bonds Beyond Fate Part 23. Last time on Bonds Beyond Fate, Nino was finally able to communicate with Alia that Adrian was in close contact with his father, Gabriel, who had shown up at the front of their school for some reason. While Nino kept an eye on the family reunion, Alia leapt into action as Rena Rouge to investigate the villain's arrival. Miss Bustier, meanwhile, did her part to try and locate Marinette to tell her what was going on. Adrian, in the meantime, was having an uncomfortable talk with his father as an Akuma somehow managed to appear and akumatize a frustrated Kim, leaving Marinette stunned before him. And now the story continues.
This is bad. Really bad,
Marinette thought to herself in a panic.
I'm too close to him. If I hide and transform now, it'll be too obvious that I'm Ladybug. What do I do?
She and the frightened Miss Bustier exchanged looks of concern. Inspecting his new form with a sinister grin of approval, Kim, or whatever his villain name was, held up the glove with the red outline to inspect it. Marinette noticed a giant bolded printed F on the palm of his gloved hand. Instinctively, the villain's eyes darted to the lockers on the other side of the hallway. Holding up his hand, the red outline began to glow and surge with electrical-like energy as it powered up the F. A luminescent, ghostly print of the failing grade then shot out from his hand and struck the lockers, leaving what looked like a stamp of the F on their surface. Almost immediately, that same red surge of energy pulsated from the F and spread to the surrounding lockers, causing them all to spontaneously unlock and shoot open, creating a loud metallic crashing sound to which Marinette had to cover her ears as their contents came spewing out. What was left was a huge mess of students' belongings scattered on the ground. "Whoa, that's awesome," Kim said, impressed with himself.
What was that?
Marinette pondered, unsure of what his power even was. Regardless, it couldn't have been good, and she needed to figure it out in order to properly put an end to it. Ignoring Marinette's existence entirely, Kim sauntered over to the flurry of tests and assignments that were on display on the floor. "Oh wow, some of these haven't even been graded yet. Some of your teachers are really lacking. Doesn't matter." He shot out some more Fs with his hand, and the stamp of failure was sealed in red upon them all. "Just look at how helpful I am. I'm a star student. Who needs to succeed anyway?" Seeing as how he was distracted, Marinette found her opportunity to hide herself behind one of the wide school building pillars. Miss Bustier, visibly troubled by her students' akumatization, lingered for a few moments, wondering if there was something she could do. It couldn't have been a coincidence that Kim got akumatized after failing his exam. In fact, the giant glowing F proved that. Bustier couldn't help but feel responsible. As Marinette fumbled to take her cell phone out of her pocket, Tiki flew out of her small pink purse, meeting the young girl at eye level. The small creature was only able to glean so much from her limited space.
What happened? Did your classmate get akumatized?
Marinette spoke quickly and in a panic while searching for the correct contact on her phone.
Yes, and now I'm freaking out because I've never been this close to an akumatized victim in my civilian form before. I don't know what to do. I managed to get away, but if I transform too quickly, what if Hawkmoth notices? He can't know who I am. But I also can't let Kim do whatever he wants. Attempting to cope, Mari took several deep breaths in and out in quick succession as she pressed Alia's number for a video call. Just calm down, Marinette. You're gonna be fine. We'll figure out how to navigate through this, Tiki assured.
Kim then looked at his glove again and grinned at it.
Now what else can I do?
Aiming at one of the balconies, he projected another F. Upon meeting its target, the concrete cracked, the screws in the railings came loose, and that whole section came crumbling down in a deafening series of rumbles. Mari chuckled uneasily.
I'm calm. Totally calm. I'm not worried at all.
Placing her free hand on her fast-beating heart, the young girl slowed her breathing to a more controlled tempo.
I'll be okay. I'm not alone in this, right?
Tiki smiled at her with confidence. After only a couple of rings, the screen shifted to Rena Rouge's image. Keeping her voice down, Marinette asked,
You're already transformed? How did you know about the akumatization that quickly?
Akumatization? Upon hearing her exclamation, Marinette had to shush her friend with a finger to her lips. Understanding the gesture, Rena quieted down.
Is that the commotion I heard? I'm heading over there right now. I thought that was Natalie. I mean, it has to be, right? Natalie?
Gabriel Agrest's assistant, remember?
Oh, right. I knew that. Sorry, there's a lot going on right now and my brain is kind of frazzled. Why would you think she was here? Whatever. There's no time. I need help. Kim got turned into a villain and I'm too close to him to transform. We're near his locker and I need some cover.
Say no more. I'll be there in a minute. And check your texts. It's important. Rena Rouge clicked off, leaving Marinette to her usual homepage. Noticing that she did in fact have a missed notification, she checked her messages. The loud, violent noises had long since caught the attention of some of the lingering staff and students, who, upon seeing the lockers and such in shambles, and even more a villain at the center of it, began to run away screaming or find shelter. There were, however, a couple of male teachers who tried to rush at Kim and neutralize him. But at the sound of their battle cries, Kim faced them and laughed. You guys suck at sneak attacks. Or rather, I guess you fail. With his powered glove, he shot out 2 more Fs that hit the teacher's legs, causing them to comedically slip and fall as if they were running on ice. Each time they tried to stand up, the Fs on their legs would glow and they'd slip and fall again. What's wrong? Are your legs failing you? Kim mocked. Don't feel bad. There's a little failure in all of us.
Kim, enough of this,
Bustier shouted out, grabbing her corrupted student's attention. From behind the pillar, Marinette's anxious frown deepened as she curled her fingers up towards Bustier in frustration. She aggressively whispered, mostly to herself,
What are you doing? Don't draw attention to yourself.
Of course. No one heard Marinette, so Bustier continued. Why don't we just relax for a second and talk through our problems? I know you're upset, but you don't have to go through with any of this. Mouth agape, Marinette silently screamed,
You can't reason with someone who's akumatized. You're going to get hurt.
Miss Bustier, I'm glad you're here. Check me out. Looks like I didn't even need math to be awesome, huh?
You aren't awesome, Kim. Not like this. You're destroying things and hurting people. Is this really who you want to be? Recoiling a bit from the scolding, Kim shot back with increasing volume.
I'm just showing everyone that I don't need school to be on top. And you know what? You just suck as a teacher. I didn't fail. You did.
With those last words and without warning, Kim targeted Miss Bustier with another attack, too quick for her or anyone to properly react to. She was immediately branded with a giant sparking F on her chest that shot an uncomfortable surge of warmth through her body.
Miss Bustier,
Marinette called out. Thinking she was ultimately all right, the teacher recovered from the initial wave of unpleasantness and attempted to take a step forward. But instead of her body doing what she wanted, she pivoted to the right and slammed her whole body into the lockers. That hurt. Kim couldn't help but laugh. Rubbing her head and nose, which took the blunt of the impact, Miss Bustier pushed herself away from the lockers and prepared to give her student a piece of her mind. But what ended up leaving her lips was, Blueberry Almertop! Gasping, she slapped her hands over her mouth. She tried again. New paperbacks jingle. Aliens? Secret Pug's Trust Diary!
Her words are all mixed up,
Marinette said to herself. She then sat and brainstormed, putting all of the recent events together. The lockers on the opposite side had all burst open when the F reached them.
The concrete cracked, the screws came loose, the teacher's legs didn't work, Boustier's words aren't working, and Kim was able to put an F on all of those papers. That's it.
Whatever that F touches fails at what it's supposed to do. The balcony failed at staying up, the teachers failed at running, the lockers failed at staying closed, and now Miss Boustier's words are failing. Ooh, that's a dangerous power, Tiki commented. At its pettiest, it might not be so bad, but certain failures can be life-threatening. Ladybug or not, you need to be careful, Marinette.
Reaching up to fidget with her earrings as she considered some possibilities, Marinette replied,
I know.
At this point, Kim was losing it, practically in tears from the perceived hilarity. You can't even talk right. I think it's time to throw in the towel, Teach. You're done. Gathering his composure back, Kim slowly approached his teacher. Glaring at him, Boustier's lips trembled from embarrassment, fear, and frustration. She began to back away slowly as she refused to speak. Once he reached her, Kim grabbed Boustier's blazer collar with his non-gloved hand and forcibly yanked her forward. He held the failure-powered glove up within inches of her face. I've got an idea. How about we test what brain failure looks like?
Leave her alone.
A small rock was thrown at Kim's back. Caught off guard, the villain turned around to face Marinette, who had come out of hiding. With a deep frown, clenched fists, and tensed shoulders, she was ready to stand her ground. Amused, Kim grinned at her while keeping his grip on Miss Boustier. What's up, Marinette? Come to hang out at our tutoring session? We're making some great progress here.
I know there's no point in trying to talk you out of this, but you're being a bully, Kim. All Miss Boustier has ever done was try to help us, and now you're threatening her? If your position on the swimming team means that much to you, then you must know that doing all this will undoubtedly get you kicked off. You know that, right?
Silly Marinette. Once everyone else starts failing, they'll need me to stay on the team to actually win. So no worries there. His smile then fell to an annoyed frown. But you're actually starting to bum me out now. Kim held up an already glowing F in his palm at Marinette. Her whole body shuddered. If she got hit with that F, Mari's chances of being useful would go completely down the drain. Unfortunately, she wouldn't be able to react fast enough to avoid it. Taking her chance, Miss Boustier reached out for Kim's extended arm with both of her hands and attempted to overpower him, steadily pushing and redirecting his arm's aim toward the ground. Boustier wanted to believe that as a full-grown adult, she'd be able to physically take control of the situation against a 14-year-old. However, this particular 14-year-old was almost as tall as her and was already quite strong and athletic beforehand, but chances were that at this moment, his strength was being boosted by the Akuma. It was like trying to move a metal lever that had already locked in place. There was a little bit of give, but not enough to make a difference. The F on her chest pulsated again, and her grip involuntarily slipped as if trying to grasp a wet bar of soap. Simultaneously, her legs gave out as well, dropping her to the ground. When Boustier looked up, the vibrant, menacing glow of the F was staring her in the face, almost completely obstructing her vision. Marinette reached out helplessly.
No, don't!
It doesn't feel good to fail, especially when it counts, does it? Kim taunted the both of them before addressing Miss Boustier exclusively. You know what? I'm a nice guy. I'll give you one more chance to redeem yourself as a teacher. Tell me, what's 2 times 2? Marinette took a step forward, her feet sliding against the pavement. Without even turning to face her, Kim threatened, You know better than to cheat in a math test, Marinette. Get any closer and I'll fail her immediately. And so, of course, Mari stopped in her tracks. Boustier was completely frozen, like a deer in headlights. Her mind was fogging up and her vision blurring. She made a slight whimper, testing to see if it was the kind of sound she even intended to make. No luck. It was a different pitch entirely, as if she had no control over her vocal cords. In desperation, she slowly parted her lips to try again, but no sound came out at all. Was this due to the F? Or was her fear betraying her?
What do I do? If I get too close, Kim might just pull the trigger. I need to get that glove off, but how can I even do that?
Marinette frantically rattled her brain for the answer. Kim's grin widened as his brow furrowed. Slowly easing his palm down onto her face, he began to squeeze. "What's wrong? Cat got your tongue?" "Hey, that's supposed to be my line." The three of them immediately snapped their heads upward to follow the mysterious voice. With excellent timing, there stood a familiar hero leaning over the edge of the rooftop in a cool pose, smirking down at them.
Cat Noir!
Marinette exclaimed with glee and relief. He saluted her. "At your service, citizen."
Sorry we couldn't be here sooner, but we're happy to help,
said a feminine voice on the opposite side. Marinette gasped at the familiarity as she turned to see who it was. Turning to face the newcomer, Kim, with determination in his eyes, smiled with excitement. "Ladybug, you finally made it. I was beginning to think you two would be tardy." "Aw, isn't that cute, Bugaboo? He's using teacher lingo," Cat said, amused.
Good thing we already got our permission slip signed for today, or else I'd actually be worried,
Ladybug retorted. "I can't believe Ladybug and Cat Noir are actually here. You must think I'm pretty strong to show up and try to stop me," Kim said, still grasping onto Miss Boustier's face. "That's another success for me." "Newsflash, it's not an actual win unless you beat us, Chief," Cat Noir told him. "And let that poor lady go. You just holding on to her like that is weird. And probably uncomfortable. For her, I mean. Nah, I'll pass on that. Because you two are going to give me your Miraculous."
What will you do if we don't?
"I'm glad you asked. You weren't around for the cool stuff, so I'll just tell you the important part." He gave his teacher's head a little disrespectful shake. "Give me your Miraculous, or her brain stops working." The heroes exchanged glances.
Oh, too bad you didn't mention that sooner. Otherwise, we would have called off the tidal wave,
Ladybug said with feigned concern. Kim blinked in confusion. "What tidal wave?" There was then a faint sound of a flute. Pointing off to the side, Cat said, "That one." As soon as Kim looked over, a giant wall of water from the sea rose up and prepared to crash on all those on the ground level. Instinctively, the villain let go of Miss Bustier and attempted to get away while also bracing for the worst. Understanding what was happening, Marinette took the opportunity to run up to her teacher and help her stand and get some distance from the akumatized Kim. When the waves finally fell down to make their impact on the vulnerable Kim, there was a suspicious lack of anything. The waters dissipated into thin air and he felt no level of wetness. Even the environment showed no evidence of a flood of any kind. Looking around in disbelief, Kim frustratingly asked, What was that? Where did the water go?"
That was the tide of this battle turning, Ladybug said as she and Cat Noir jumped down to greet him, acting as a barrier between him and Marinette and Bustier.
"But as for now, that's all there is. There isn't any more."